It was 3:42 a.m. when the cameras caught something I can't explain. That time is burned into my memory, not because it was late, but because it was precise.
3:42 a.m.
Not 3:41. Not 3:43. Always 3:42. I was alone in the surveillance control room of Ward C, an abandoned government hospital on the outskirts of the city. Officially, the place was under evaluation for redevelopment. Unofficially, it was forgotten, too expensive to demolish, too controversial to reopen. My job wasn't medical. I was there to watch. 6 nights a week, 12-hour shifts, 48 cameras. They told me it was simple. No trespassers. No theft. Log anomalies. They never explained what qualified as an anomaly. The quiet before something notices you. Ward C had a sound all its own. Not silence, breathing. Old buildings don't go quiet. Pipes tick. Walls contract. Distant metal groans like it's remembering pain. Sometimes the wind slipped through broken windows and made the corridors sigh. At night, the place felt patient, like it was waiting. The cameras were analog. Old CRT monitors stacked in a half circle, glowing softly, washing the room in a pale blue light. Each screen showed a different corridor, room, or stairwell. Most were empty, always empty, until 3:42 a.m. That was when camera 19 froze. The timestamp kept running, but the image stopped mid-frame. A long hallway, peeling paint, a wheelchair tipped against the wall. I leaned forward. The wheelchair's shadow was wrong. It stretched upward, slowly peeling off the floor like smoke, discovering gravity didn't apply anymore. My skin prickled. Then movement. Not on the floor, on the ceiling. Something crawled across it, but the camera never caught its shape. Just the way the shadows bent around in absence, like the dark was avoiding it. The feed snapped back to normal. Empty hallway. No shadow. No movement. I checked the system logs. No error recorded. I didn't write anything in the anomaly log. That was my first mistake. Patterns pretending to be coincidence. After that night, I started noticing patterns. Camera 19 always froze first. Then camera 7. Then camera 31. Always in that order. Always at 3:42 a.m. The feeds didn't just freeze anymore. They waited. On the screens, corridors appeared longer than they should be. Doorways opened into darkness that swallowed the frame instead of reflecting light. Some rooms showed equipment that hadn't been there during the day. Once, I saw a hospital bed in room 314. I'd been in that room myself earlier. It was empty. When I checked the live feed again, the bed was gone. As if it had noticed me noticing. I started bringing headphones to drown out the building's sounds. Bad idea. Through the static hiss, I heard breathing. Not mine. Not mechanical. Slow. Curious. Close to the mic. I ripped the headphones off. The audio meters on camera 19 spiked, then flatlined. That night, I finally logged an anomaly. I wrote, visual distortion, possible system fault. Even as I typed it, I knew I was lying. The cameras began to learn a week later. The cameras stopped showing the hospital. They started showing me, not all at once, slowly. At first, it was reflections, my silhouette faintly visible in dark screens, even when the angle made no sense. Then full shots. Camera 12 showed the control room from above. Camera 31 showed behind my chair. Camera 19 showed my face. I checked the schematics. Those angles didn't exist. The timestamps didn't match reality either. Some footage showed me minutes into the future. Others showed things I didn't remember doing. In one clip, I stood up, walked toward the door, then stopped halfway and turned back, like I'd remembered something important. In real life, I hadn't moved. My heart hammered. The version of me on screen leaned close to the camera and whispered something the mic couldn't quite catch. Subtitles appeared at the bottom of the screen. You sit here every night.
I-unplugged camera 19.
The other screens flickered. The text changed. We watched to learn. The truth hidden in the walls. I broke protocol the next day. I went exploring. Ward C wasn't just abandoned, it was erased. Patient names scratched off doors. Records missing. entire wings sealed with welded metal plates. In the basement, I found a room that wasn't on any blueprint. No windows, no beds, just rows of old cameras bolted into the walls. Hundreds of them, all pointed inward. At the center of the room was a chair, straps worn smooth from use. Scratched into the concrete floor beneath it were words written again and again, overlapping like someone had tried to remember something important before they were taken away. Do not look back. A sudden realization hit me. This hospital hadn't been watching patients. It had been watching observers. The entity that exists only when seen that night. The building felt different, heavier. The monitors came on by themselves. Every screen showed the control room. Not empty, occupied. Something stood behind my chair. It didn't have a face. Where its head should have been, the image bent inward, folding light like a knot in reality. Its body flickered, never settling on a shape long enough to understand. But its posture, it leaned the way I leaned. It breathed when I breathed. Text crawled across every screen. You taught us your routine. I stood up. The thing stood up. I reached for the door. The cameras zoomed. Observation is consent. The lights went out. What the morning didn't erase, I woke up in my apartment. Sunlight, traffic noise, normal life. For a moment, I believed it was a stress-induced nightmare. Then I checked my phone. I had dozens of notifications, security app alerts, new cameras added. I opened the feed. My bedroom, my hallway, my bathroom, angles that didn't exist. The timestamps all read the same.
3:42 a.m.
In the dark reflection of my turned-off TV, something shifted. Not approaching, just watching, waiting for me to sit down. The thing that needs to be seen. I stopped sleeping after the cameras appeared in my apartment. Not because they watched me, because they adjusted when I wasn't looking. Every morning, I'd wake up with the uneasy certainty that something had changed. A new angle, tighter zoom, a better view of my face when I slept. I tried covering the lenses. The feeds still worked. I tried unplugging my Wi-Fi. The cameras stayed online. When I checked the app logs, there were no IP addresses. No manufacturers. No serial numbers. Just one repeated system note. Status. Observation active. The slow collapse of privacy. The watchers didn't follow me outside. At least, not at first. At work, I felt eyes on the back of my neck. In reflective surfaces, elevator doors, dark windows, I caught shapes that moved a half-second late. Like buffering. People started reacting strangely to me. My coworker once paused mid-sentence, stared past my shoulder, and asked, "Do you hear that breathing?" When I turned around, there was nothing. When I turned back, she was confused, didn't remember saying anything. That night, the cameras added audio. I heard whispers timed perfectly between my thoughts. Not voices, annotations, like someone taking notes on how it felt to be human. The files that were never deleted. I went back to Ward C. It wasn't locked. It was waiting. The control room powered on as soon as I stepped inside. Dust floated in the monitor glow like stars caught in gravity. On the main screen, a folder blinked open by itself. Project Stillness. Inside were recorded interviews. Patients, staff, guards. All of them observers in some way. A nurse described feeling watched by the patients. A guard said the cameras showed him angles of himself he didn't remember standing in. A technician said the system didn't record events. It recorded attention. The final file was unlabeled. Just a timestamp.
3:42 a.m.
I clicked it.
The video showed a room identical to the basement chair. Except this time, the chair was occupied. A man sat strapped down, eyes forced open with medical clamps. Around him, cameras, hundreds of them, recorded from every direction. A voice spoke off camera. Calm, clinical. We believe consciousness leaves a residue. when observed intensely enough. A feedback loop, the mind reflecting itself until something remains. The man in the chair was screaming, not in pain, in recognition. "I can see it," he sobbed. "It's learning me." The camera zoomed in, not on him, on the space behind him. The video ended. The timestamp froze. The room around me went silent. Then every monitor switched to a live feed. My apartment, my bedroom, my face. I was standing in the control room, watching myself. Text filled the screens. The first observer created US. The second taught US patterns. You taught US continuity. I backed away. The floor beneath me felt unstable, like the building was holding its breath. I finally understood. The watchers didn't exist independently. They were assembled from habits, from routines, from repeated observation. They didn't hunt. They waited. Every time someone watched them without breaking the loop, without looking away long enough, they grew more complete. I asked the empty room a question I didn't want answered. "What happens when you finish learning me?" The response appeared slowly. "We no longer need to watch." The monitors showed two options. One feed zoomed into my apartment. The other showed a dark, unfamiliar room. The text explained it without emotion. Continuity requires a seat. The watcher must be watched. Someone had to sit in the chair. Someone had to be the constant point of observation. A living anchor. I laughed, then cried, then laughed again, because the truth was unbearable. If I refused, the watchers would finish learning everyone. They would slip into reflections, screens, lenses, anywhere attention lingered too long. Reality would become a mirror hall with no exits.